everyone, well, I am excited about today's recipe. It is the good old salmon patties that I used to love and cook often. My recipe is very simple. As you can see, he has it out here. 1 can of salmon, 2 eggs, flour, and a little bit of cornmeal just for that crispiness that it tends to give normally when you're frying them. And that is with oil in a pan. However, tonight John's going to show us how to use the air fryer. And so I can't wait to see what it tastes like and hope to start cooking them more often.
It's the basic Southern salmon patty recipe. And I'm looking real forward to see how it does, because she kind of quit cooking them, like you said, because they make such a mess in the kitchen with the splattering of the oil. And they'll be a lot healthier. Anyhow, this Kathy, my wife, also known as BabyDoll, and of course you know me, I'm John Sanders, also known as Jelly 007. Got to get you a sign before long. But anyhow, salmon patties coming up. So I'm going to start off with saying that there's a lot of variations on the Southern salmon patty. And they're not off much, but they are off. In fact, the recipe my wife uses that she just described, as she described it, is how we're going to do it. But like her Uncle Dwight, for instance, all he uses is flour. We talked to him tonight to make sure he doesn't use what most people call cornmeal. I'll throw this in too. When you're talking to like my aunts, uncles, and mothers, and you say, they say you need a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of cornmeal, they're not talking about cornmeal. They're talking about cornmeal cornbread mix, or what I call cornbread mix, which is I use buttermilk white cornmeal mix. You can buy just cornmeal, but that's not what they're talking about. But they just call this cornmeal. I'll get off of that. Now, when I come back, a lot of this is going to be done, so I'm going to describe it real quick. I'm going to use this right here. I may bring it back to show you that, because this is a pretty neat device, I think. It's made by Xylus. We're going to see how it works. It's supposed to walk around the can. We're going to do it right there. I'm going to put a 1/2 cup of flour, of self-rising flour. And then I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of cornmeal mix in. So that's about 2 tablespoons is about 1/8 of a cup. So you can vary that to 1 or 2 or 3. You can vary anything that's here. As a matter of fact, BabyDoll does not, or Uncle Dwight, and maybe my mother, they never use parsley. I think the green color helps, and the flavor is there too. But other than that, I'm sticking to their recipe, which is just as she said. Let's see. I'm going to also, because this is the first time I've ever done it in an air fryer, and that's the honest truth. We're learning together. I'm using avocado oil. I'm going to spray the pans. We're using the Ninja FOODI 6.5 quart and the Instant VORTEX 6 quart. They call it the VORTEX 6. Many things it's been called, but it was at the Black Friday sale, so that's why I'm using it. A lot of people have it. And a lot of people have the 6.5 quart Ninja. I've used that for years and got many videos using this device. I think they're 2 of my most popular devices. So I'm about to get this opened up. We're going to drain the juices off and removing the bones, which I'm fixing to show you. As promised, I am a kitchen gadget lover, and I'm fixing to put this on here. And we're going to see how the Xylus electronic can opener does. Now, I did have to put 2 AA batteries in there, and that can is not normally shaped, but it says that it will open, I can't remember, but open cans of all shapes, says it right there. I don't have links on my page, as you know, and there is Xylus.com if you want to try and find one. I think I bought it at Target. It's almost done, so let's see how it does, because I got plenty of can openers. But, it turned off on its own, and I pressed a button again, but it finished. And I would say that it worked. So, what we're going to do now, I'm going to pour this in here, and then I'm going to come back and show you how to remove the skins and bones, which is simple. I'm going to show it in here. So the next step is optional. A lot of people don't. If you watch videos before, you'll know a lot of people don't remove the skin or the bones, but we always do. I'm going to reserve that liquid because I may need it if I mess up and get it too dry. All I'm going to do right now is put that in the bowl, and then we're going to kind of look for the bones and this skin. I like to remove the skin. That's definitely not a big deal. The bones are, though. To me, they are. And you just kind of break it open like this and look for that. There's the bone. You just get it out. And I always put it like right here. I keep this with a little colander on top so I can throw that there. Or, you know, with any kind of thing like this. Not like I've done this a bunch. BabyDoll usually does this. But you kind of break it open. You got to break it open anyhow. And then that right there. That's the kind of thing you're looking for. Because it'll be there. And most, now, there are cans. In fact, I've got one. I may show it. There's versions you can buy that are deboned. But nobody here uses them. And again, a lot of people eat these bones. They like them. And the skin. Now, like I said, I'm going to finish cleaning this up, but you get the idea. And I'm just going to get the skin and bones off and anything that's not flesh of a salmon. But anyhow, now you know, for the record, there is what it looks like when I'm completely done with it. And I'm sure I didn't get all the bones, and it doesn't matter. These are not the type of bones that will hurt you or get hung in your throat. I mean, a lot of people that I know leave them in. And then I'm going to reserve the liquid, like I said, but there's what I removed. I get all the dark meat, or most of the dark meat, the skin, and all the bones I can find, I get out. Now we're about to add some flour, some eggs, and some of that parsley. We're going to make some patties up. Be back. I'm almost ready to put all this together to make the patties, so I want to go over it. It's a half a cup of white lily. I'm using, you can use any flour, but it's self-rising flour, and that helps it rise a little bit, obviously. Some people don't. Some people use whatever flour they got, but I'm using self-rising. I'm also using 2 tablespoons of buttermilk, and you can see right here, it's white cornmeal mix, not just cornmeal, like I said before. I took these shears, these herb shears, and just cut off a little bit of, just trimmed off some of the fresh parsley, and then I took my 8-inch chef knife and just rocked it back and forth like that right there, and that's what a chef knife is really good for, is that type stuff, or it's good for a lot of things. But if you didn't want to, if you had this in your cabinet, I guarantee you that would do just as good. Just parsley flakes that you can have around, and it's not something you got to go to the store to get. I almost regret putting it in this recipe because of that. I've got a few grinds of black pepper that I put in, and just a little bit of salt. But I'm going to tell you, you got to be careful with the salt because the salmon is packed in a salt solution. I've also got the 2 eggs. And I'm actually going to beat those up a little bit. I'm going to pour this on, dump the eggs on, put the parsley in. Actually, I'm going to put the parsley in here. That's probably a tablespoon of parsley. I mean, you know, maybe not quite, but right at. And I'm going to mix that up. And all I'm going to do is, like I said, dump all that in there, put the eggs on it. Once I get those broke up a little bit, I'm going to mix it up and make patties. Pretty much here everything comes. I'm going to go ahead and put all the liquid in. I'm definitely going to use both the eggs. This is the only questionable part, whether I will use all of this flour and cornmeal mix. I got gloves on. I thought that'd be better. It just seems to be. But if this turns out a little too wet, I got a little more cornmeal flour mix, and quite honestly, if that don't do it, I got plenty more of everything. So, and I can tell it might be a little loose, I can tell already. And but all we're doing is crushing this up, and it's a little loose. And you want to, I tell you what I think of. I kind of think of hamburger meat. That doesn't mean I want it exactly like it, but I want something similar. But I can already tell, I think I need all of that, I'm putting it in. And like I said, if I need to add flour or a little more cornmeal, which I'll probably add flour. But we're going to mix this up and see how they pad out right quick. And that's getting really close. In fact, that might have been the exact amount. But I'm going to And I'm also going to let these rest just a little bit after I make them into patties in the refrigerator, maybe 30 minutes at least. If you can let them go a little longer, you can. I think it just helps. It gives the flour and all time to absorb stuff. So anyhow, that right there looks like, well, I got my hand in the way, but you can kind of see the consistency I got. And that looks perfect. I'm not going to mess with that. That's going to be my patties. Now, I'm going to make them similar to hamburgers, but not exact. So I'm going to say that right there is my size. So I'm fixing to get something to put them on, set them in the refrigerator for a minute, and that is exactly how they're going in the air fryer, just like that. All right, for the record, I sprayed the board, I laid the patties on it, and I sprayed them again. So they are ready to go into the refrigerator just like that. They've been in the refrigerator for a little bit, but what I wanted to explain why I had this setting out, because it's kind of important, or it's a little bit. I'm also going to preheat these units to 400 degrees, both of them. I'm going to put both of them at 400 degrees and let them preheat for 5 or 10 minutes just to make sure they're well heated. This is a Southern cooking book, SR-Dole. It's a well-known cookbook that's been that a lot of people in the South had and went by. My mother and family handed it down. You can see it's wore out. But I want to show in here. Here is the salmon croquettes, as they call it. And that is the recipe they went by in 1941. And it calls for the I think it's called a white sauce. I can't read it from where I'm at. Let's see, 2 cups of salmon, and then 1 cup of thick white sauce. And then there's a lot of, you read it, cayenne pepper, a grated rind of lemon, which is something I started to do because I think when I grill salmon, I put lemon on it. Sometimes I put dill. There's a lot of things you can add to this recipe, and that's my point. But I wanted to show what, in 1941, what they called, salmon patty. No, they called a croquette. And somewhere along the way, it got changed. But here is the white sauce recipe. In case you want to make it the way they used to, it's like any white sauce. It's I think there's a French word for it. I'm not sure I could pronounce it, so I'm not going to try. 1 cup of milk, 2 to 4 tablespoons of butter, and 4 to 6 tablespoons of flour. And you can pause that video and learn exactly how they did it in 1941. And that is from Mrs. SR-Dole, a well-known, she wrote articles in the Atlanta Journal in the 1920s, I think it was. But take my word, it's a well-known cookbook author. So I'm about to get these started to preheating at 400 degrees. I'm going to put this one, I'm going to put both of them I'm going to put this one on air crisp. I'm going to take it up to 400 degrees. I'm going to hit start. Same thing here. I'm going to do air fry. It's already at 400. I'm going to hit start. And they are both preheating, and I'm going to let them just run for a little bit. And then we're going to bring those out of the refrigerator and get this started. There they are, and that's been after about an hour. I had some other things I did, like wash dishes and stuff like that. And they do feel a little different. They feel a little firmer. And what we're about to do, and these have been preheating for plenty of time. I'll put it like that, 20 minutes or so. So what I'm about to do, I'm going to open this one up and spray that basket. Same thing here with the avocado oil. And we're going to set those in and see how they do. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to have to flip them. Like I said, I've never done it, but I've got this type and this type. So I hope we're fixing to find out which one works best. But here we go. And there goes that one. I'm going to set that one down like that. And that one down like that. And I'm going to reset both these timers real shortly. I can't do that with my finger. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm going to press that down out of the way. Put this one right here in the Instant Pot Vortex 6. I'm going to form that one a little bit better because I messed with it. And that one right there. Now, I'm going to look for my other towel. I didn't want to mess that one up just yet. That will move this. And I'm going to set these. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move the time to this one to say 20 minutes. We're not going to need it. I'm just going to, my thermopan. So we're going to take, the temp's already on 400 on both of them. So we're going to take this one to the same thing, 20 minutes. And in a few minutes, I will take a temp read and see about where we're at. All right, so I guess you saw that. I didn't spray that one, but I'm not concerned because they were both, the patties were sprayed on both sides and sitting on oil. So I think we'll be fine here. I sprayed this one, but I didn't spray that one. So I'm going to see if that matters, I guess. So, all right, we're about 7 minutes in. I want to see what they look like, and I want to see what the temps are. And I'm not sure what they should be. Let's see what this one does. They're not brown enough, but we got 139, 142. I'm going to turn those over. They're not very brown, but let's see. The Ninja might be doing better on brown. So let's see how they do. We'll close these lids. And close that one back up. Let's see what they do in about, I don't know, we'll give them 2 or 3 more minutes. All right, that's about as long as I think they need. Let's just see. And I'll let you see those. They look good. There's nothing wrong with them. Those are browning really well. We're going to look at these, and then we're going to do a temp check. The Instant Pot may not be, well, I'll let you see them from here, but you can. May not be quite as brown. I'm going to put them on the plate so you can see them. We're going to do some temp checks. They are a little warm, I'm not going to lie. But the main thing is we're going to get down to how they taste. So that's 10 minutes. That's not bad. And neither one of them look bad. You can see them. They're side by side. Let's see what we got on temp. Well, I'm telling you, I think that's, well, we'll see how they taste. They're definitely done. You know, I don't know. I've never temped them in a, when I'm frying them in a skillet, but 183, 184, and that's out of the Instant Pot. Let's check the other one. I'm just trying to be curious on what, there's 195 on that one, 189. But again, we're talking about plenty of temp already in 10 minutes. So 180, 190, we're going to let them rest just a minute, and then we're going to eat some of them. I'm going to. And I'm going to try and get you a better picture of them. Got to get my camera to act better, but it's not going to. I tell you what, let's do it this way. There is the Instant Pot. And I mean, there's not a nickel's worth of difference there. They're both good looking. They'll do. I'll put it like that. If they're good to eat, that's all that matters. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so after about 5 minutes of resting, I wanted them to cool off just a little bit where I could eat them, or at least take a bite of them. The bottom side of the Instant Pot Vortex and the top side of the Instant Pot Vortex, and the same thing here. The bottom side on the Ninja and the top side of the Ninja. Now, do they look like they've been fried in a black iron skillet in a 1/4 inch of oil? No. But do they look like they're going to be good? It's very possible. So what we're going to do, I'm going to break one open. In fact, I'm looking forward to it. And I'm going to break each one of them open right now. And they're still very warm. And there is the Ninja. And I'm telling you, it looks as good as, to me, inside. Now, it don't look like deep fat fried, and it's not going to. But I'm going to break the other one. I think that is an excellent way. You can see the flour breading, the self-rising flour in there. Everything looks great. I think it's going to taste great. It's not going to look, a little bit, it's not going to look quite like it's been fried in oil, because it hasn't. And that's the great part of it. It's air fried. I don't know what else you'd ask for, but and take my word, other than the exterior, which might be a little crispier fried in oil, there's no difference in the taste. None. I mean, it tastes just like a salmon patty always has to me, without that exterior maybe crunch. And I mean, you can see it. I don't have to tell it. It's not like it's not exactly like deep fried. It's a lot healthier, but it's not exactly like. I got a feeling BabyDoll is going to look. I'm saving these two for her. I'm going to let her try them tomorrow. This ran late in tonight. So I'm going to taste this one also. %, just as good as far as taste. And that's really honest the truth. You try it, I think you'll see what I mean. The Ninja did brown a little better, I think. And you might think so too, I'm not sure. But like I said, there's not a nickel's worth of difference in either one of those. There's not enough there to worry about. You could do this in any air fryer and get real similar results. So anyhow, Southern air fried salmon patties. Anyhow, hey, if I can get in front of this camera, I love y'all all. Y'all come back to see me. Fix you some of these and expect what I just showed you and see if they're not just as good. Love y'all all. Bye-bye.